all our technical fucking around is done. It's been a month since we did this.
Yeah.
It shows in our setup.
Yeah, maybe we need to oil it more often.
Yeah, air in a can, mate.
Air in a can. Yeah.
Let's get some of that. But before that, let's do a
cartoony
show.
bit, yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the Space Jam Continuum, the show where we try to make a cohesive cinematic universe out of something that was never meant to be one. I'm Chris McLennan.
I'm Carl Noble.
And it's been a month since we did one of these.
It has been a month,
weird.
hasn't it? That is odd. It doesn't feel like that long, but...
I mean, I don't feel like I've watched cartoons in a while, and that's like something I'd like to rectify pretty quickly, but I think we should probably just try and remember exactly where we were. We got into 1949, we had a nice New Year time.
Just cresting in.
I remember it being confusing. I remember being confused by 2 out of the 3 episodes that we watched.
Yeah, we couldn't quite peg exactly what was going on.
So let's just... I mean, the last one we watched had Tom Turk in it.
Yeah.
Put that down to some sort of Clone Watch situation.
Yes, yeah.
He was blue, and Daffy was trying to break him out of somewhere, like some sort of weird situation.
Well, yeah, so as far as I remember it, basically... Daffy didn't want Tom coming onto the farm because Daffy was getting all the food, and he was training Tom Turk rather than letting him get fat.
Yeah,
for the pot.
Then they went to eat Daffy instead, predictably,
and then tried to cook him.
And they tried to cook him. So that was that. So that one was confusing in a way that we had some connection for because it was a Clone Watch thing. It's like because it wasn't the original Tom Turk. He was blue. I remember that. Hairdo. Do you remember what happened in Hairdo?
I do not remember what happened in Hairdo. Should we quickly flick back and have a little...
I think we should probably have a look, because that's the trouble with these stacked up gaps, is that, we're not ready to launch in, and I don't want the people to go uninformed.
No. Let's take a quick look at that one.
Let's have a look. Okay, so, I mean, I think there's a reason why we don't remember, and it's because Hairdo was, like... a very confusing time for us.
Yeah.
So that was the situation in which Bugs Bunny managed to lure Elmer into a theatre and by a convoluted scheme, get him onto a unicycle on a tightrope into the mouth of a lion.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
And that was the last time we saw Elmer. I mean, we know he was alive inside the lion, but that was the last time we saw it. We don't know what happened from there.
Yeah. The previous episode to that... Daffy, through entrapment, had basically made Elmer buy a slave, and then he popped in as Abe Lincoln and said, "Don't have slaves."
Yeah, essentially.
Again, don't know when that became Daffy's jurisdiction.
No.
Or indeed what tipped them off to the fact that Elmer, who didn't have a slave before, might like one and be that type of person who needs reprimand for liking that.
It does seem that the agency had, because that was very Elmer heavy, and it did seem like they were sending some of their best agents to target Elmer for some unknown reason.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Like, the agency are clearly changing, like, what their sort of role in society is.
Yeah.
I think post-war, like they're definitely operating on their home turf a bit more specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose like in the run up to the war, like they had, bigger fish to fry, as it were. Whereas now they're like, okay, well, what do we do now?
Well, let's find out what they do now. Going forward. So let's get around to watching some cartoons. The next up is Charlie. Who's Charlie? Because it doesn't say first appearance of Charlie.
It doesn't say first, but I mean, it's not the first time we've had a first appearance.
Just a random character. No, let's just see. We've got Charlie and Porky Pig in Awful Orphan from January 29th, 1949. So let's have a look at it.
All right, then.
well, I changed my mind about which Porky Pig that was about halfway through that episode.
He's back, isn't he?
I thought it was the fourth. He seemed, meek, and stuttery, but I'm pretty sure that's Porky the third. His true colours. I think he's done a good job of blending in, so it's difficult for anyone to tell. But he's broken here.
Do you think he's been laying low as a lookalike?
Possibly. I mean, I think the influx of lookalikes from Porkytopia must make it somewhat difficult to...
because he seems to be living long-term in a hotel. That's because no apartment block has room service.
No, it's like...
I mean, there might be one or two.
He's living long-term in a hotel. But the episode revolves around Charlie, who's a dog, trying to get a home.
Yeah.
It's not working out well for him, in spite of his good... presentation on the street.
That was really good.
So he jumps into an Acme pet shop van and gets delivered to Porky Pig.
Yep.
Under the guise of being a canary, so he's given a cage with a cloth over it. And when he opens it up, it's just
stuffed full of dog,
stuffed in a cage.
Yeah.
He tries to convince Porky to let him stay, which Porky is not keen on. Which is odd given Porky's previous penchant for,
but maybe that's what he's trying to get away from.
Yeah.
Which is why he ordered a canary.
So, because he's always had, a submissive dog in the house. But, about halfway through the episode, he just sort of loses his rag and, it's got this maniacal cackle. Yeah. First time he packs the dog off in the post.
Yeah.
Seemingly to Russia.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a form of Porkytopia state. Who knows?
Possibly, but he comes back.
But he comes back.
Yeah.
Cossacked up. Gives Porky a couple of boots up the arse. The neighbour upstairs complains. So he sends Porky up there.
Yeah, to fight him.
To fight him. In the end, he sort of is... beaten into submission, and he goes, yeah, okay, you can stay here and be my master, at which point Charlie goes, nah, I don't really like it, and leaves.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that have happened in this episode.
But he doesn't leave, that's the thing.
He doesn't leave.
He ended up, Porky was like, no, you're going to stay, you're going to be my pet, and then forces him. So Porky ends up as the dog on the floor.
Yeah.
Whilst Charlie is in a smoking jacket, but is obviously held there against his will, because as soon as he thinks that Porky's asleep, he tries to get up and escape, and Porky stops him. So he's being held there. Charlie is now imprisoned as the master.
Dog.
Yeah, as the master of Porky.
Yeah.
But Porky's not letting him go. So
it's terrifying. I don't know what the dynamic is anymore, but it's so there's a few things to tackle. Firstly, I'd liked seeing a little bit more of the toon physics. So we have our, the three things you need to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Which is, two of three things.
Yeah.
You need some actual downward propulsion.
Yep.
Fuel. You need to obviously be off the ground.
Yeah.
And you need knowledge that you should be falling.
Yes.
Now, Porky strides in with the cage with the dog in it, and you're like,
that is really strong.
It's really strong. It's like, I wonder if you don't know what something is, or you think it's something else, does that count as the knowledge part of gravity? If he goes, I'm carrying this good canary in a cage.
It's got to weigh the same as a canary.
Then it weighs the same as a canary until he takes the sheet off and goes, and then it's
full of dog.
Luckily, by that time, he was at the table.
Yeah, I don't know. Because the thing is we've seen Porky the Third do some pretty impressive things. It's possible that he could have, he might have been training.
I've never seen him, mighty.
With super strength.
Physically mighty. But then again, he's been laying low for a while. He might have just been I've not got much to do in the house.
So he's just been doing press-ups.
He's just been working out.
But because the thing is he does carry that cage in, you are correct, he thinks it's a canary. But then he does also pick Charlie up by the tail.
And Charlie's core strength is something fierce.
Like Charlie's holding himself rigid. But Porky is just carrying him one-handed.
Yeah, maybe he has just been working out then.
No, I'm thinking he's just got some... That or the other option is that, he's maybe it got something to do with Cinecolor now, and they've been testing out serums on him.
Yeah, or maybe it had something to do with Cinecolor all along, because we've seen like the inventor of the Cinecolor clone technology, but he's out of action pretty much, right? Or was when last we saw him. Someone else is pulling the strings currently. We don't know if he's been added back to the fray. Daffy sorted him out, so he might be okay again now. Reclaim his Cinecolor empire, but only time will tell. So why do we think Porky has decided he doesn't want a dog? Because he always wanted a dog before. Yeah, well,
again, I think it's just... That was classically a Porky the Third thing. Everybody knew that that's what Porky liked. So I'm thinking now he's trying to lay low, pretending he's not Porky the Third. He's like, well, I can't, indulge in my love of, dogs in that way. So,
because people will
go, hold on, this is a Porky who likes dogs again. Like, well, no, right, that's not okay. So I'm thinking he's trying to hide
that's a good point.
Which is why he switched.
He did always protest quite a lot at the start, but I always saw that as sort of like
a bit of a game.
Like negging.
Yeah. Love games.
That was just his system.
Yeah,
I presume he's written a book.
Well, no, I think that's why he when he switched and started that evil laugh. I'm thinking it was right. Okay, no, you're going to be my dog.
He can only keep it under wraps for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think his plan by the end then was he wants a dog, but for appearance's sake, he's flipped the dynamic, aesthetically, but from the fact that Charlie can't leave, we know who's in charge.
We know who the boss is, and
it's Porky the Third.
Oh God!
So he's back. I mean, we knew he was around, but
I didn't expect to see him though.
No, I thought after the ICBM in the kitchen incident,
that was probably the end of it.
That was probably that, but no, he's still around. He'll try and at some point. He must be planning something.
Because he's back in the city now.
Yeah,
because he could have just been laying low anywhere.
Before.
Yeah,
he's getting closer. And it's definitely New York. You could just tell from Charlie's accent. So it's like, I don't know. I can't see it being long before he tries to take back power.
No,
tries to take back his good role as Porky Pig.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, look at next episode.
Well,
is it him?
Let's find out. We're going to watch Porky Chops. It's a Porky Pig number. Which Porky Pig, we don't know.
What is he chopping?
Is it a Porky Pig and Porky Pig number?
What is he chopping?
We don't know. What is he chopping? Let's find out in Porky Chops from February 12th, 1949. Okay, so this Porky is a lumberjack.
It is, yeah.
And he's trying to chop down a tree. It looks like he's already chopped one down, but I've second-guessed myself on that by the ending.
Yeah, there's been a lot of logging in this area, though. There's a lot of trees down.
Yeah.
Whether or not he did any of them, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But he's got to this tree, and there's a squirrel living in it.
Yeah.
Now, he's heavily modified his tree. He's got all kinds of things. He's got a little zip door. He can move branches around. Yeah. We definitely see him reinforce the tree with a sheet metal and rivets.
And rivets around,
But yeah, he basically doesn't want his house chopped down. He's just trying to go to bed in his really fancy pajamas. He wears more going to bed than
he does in his day. Yeah,
like it's trousers pulled up to the nipples. And a bow tie usually.
Yeah, with some sort of chain as well.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Maybe a watch chain. I thought.
Yeah,
but
possibly.
I can't really tell.
I don't think he's always lived there. I think he's retired from the city life and is now living.
Yeah, he didn't look like a rural.
No.
Fellow. But yeah, Porky's trying to chop down his tree. He's trying to stop it.
Mm-hmm. Understandably.
Which he pretty successfully does. Porky's getting angrier and angrier until he decides to blow up the tree.
Yeah.
He's chucking dynamite in. The squirrel's just chucking it out the other side into this tree, which I thought Porky had already chopped down.
Yeah.
But when it blows up, it turns out there was a bear living in there.
Yeah, it was a hollow tree.
Yeah. They're both chased off by the bear. and then the bear moves into the squirrel's house. That's really the upshot of the episode.
Yeah, the bear comes out, trumps on that, really, doesn't he?
Yeah. That might have been the most succinct episode
We've had.
recap we've ever done.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, the thing is, the storyline was so straightforward.
Yeah,
Like,
which is it's a pleasant experience in 1949.
But
a
then
world
the question
of confusion.
is, which Porky?
I really don't know, because I really don't think it's the third, unless he needs a lot of
Wood for what he's up to.
For whatever he's up to.
Yeah, but the thing is that like Porky the Third would not have been flummoxed that easily, I think. And I mean,
he also would. I don't think he'd do the chopping himself.
I don't think he would do the chopping. But there again, like,
now.
he wasn't very good at the chopping bit. He was better at sawing than he was at chopping.
Yeah,
he was at that chopping for a while and he didn't do anything.
But also on that breadth of tree, like, I don't know why you were going at it with an axe anyway.
No.
Oh, it's an absurdity.
I mean, unless maybe he was making like his first notch with the axe and then was going to saw it just so you can get the fall angle right.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It didn't seem like what was happening.
No.
Because he had the notch.
Yeah.
He could have just started sawing straight away, but he seemed to resort to sawing.
Yeah, and that didn't work out. He had a two-person saw as well. He had a two-person saw, and there was only one of them.
There was only one of him. Contrary to our hopes for this episode, we'd see some Porky versus Porky chopping.
Yeah, that's really what we were hoping would happen, but didn't.
Yeah, like just a constant karate.
Yeah,
like like maybe watching like a kung fu movie, but with two Porky pigs.
Porky the Third and Porky the Fourth going at it.
But that's not what we got. I don't really know what to make of this episode in the grander scheme of things, outside of identifying which Porky this is. But,
yeah, I mean,
but I kind of don't feel like it's either of the main Porkies.
I don't think it needs that much looking into, really, because it didn't raise any questions.
There wasn't anything particularly intriguing in the workings of the Tooniverse, anything political, anything even in the timeline of Porky, and I'm
interested to who the squirrel is, though, because I'm like, at first, like when the squirrel first goes down to chat to Porky, he's quite intimidating. Like, he's right, and I'm thinking, is he like an ex-gangster or something that's like moved to the, because like he's from Brooklyn, obviously.
Yeah.
Is he like an ex-gangster, and he's just
I'm not sure. I mean, the trouble is he's unnamed in our archive, and as a result, like, I just don't think he's going to crop up again.
No, it's a shame. I liked him.
Yeah,
he has some
great
really snazzy pajamas.
But basically, in short, I don't really have much insightful or funny to say about that episode.
No.
So I think we should probably just move on.
Yeah.
Because this one's intriguing me greatly, and I've been looking at it the whole time we've been recording this episode and going, Who the fuck is Colonel Shuffle?
I don't know, but I'm expecting amazing dance moves.
Yeah, so we've got the first appearance of Colonel Shuffle, which strongly implies Colonel Shuffle is going to crop up again.
Yeah.
We're as clueless as presumably you are about who Colonel Shuffle is, so let's just get right on with it. We're watching Mississippi Hare with Bugs Bunny and Colonel Shuffle from February 26th, 1949.
Let's get our shuffle on.
Let's get our shuffle on.
Well then, this is one I remember as seeing when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember. I remember visually Colonel Shuffle.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've and I probably will always remember this guy as Colonel Shuffle. So the episode starts with Bugs, and he's in a cotton field. And there is, the workers, they're picking the cotton, and Bugs gets grabbed by his little tail and dropped into one of the bags. He's then, processed, bundled, and put onto a steamship.
Yeah.
Which he gets out, and the guy who's doing the ticket collection comes around looking for tickets, and Bugs sees a stowaway basically get booted off, and he's like, okay, I can't have any of this. So he runs into this room and dresses up in really fancy stuff as the ticket collector's coming around. Yeah. Now, whose room it is, I don't know.
But he gets all fancy.
Yeah, he's got a diamond, and he has a ticket. So
he had what I thought was a big cigarette in one of those holders. But a closer inspection is just like a fucking
a giant
8-inch blunt.
Yeah, and because it's all wonky, it's in blunt paper. but like Bugs is just like, yeah, whatever. There's my ticket, and he wanders off because he's like, right, I'm on now. I'm in for this cruise, and he's walking along, smoking this massive joint,
Camberwell carrot situation,
and he hears a load of commotion coming from the saloon, which is on the steamboat, and. There's a load of shooting, there's a load of shouting, and a load of patrons come running out, and you hear what turns out to be Colonel Shuffle basically just saying, can nobody play cards? Can nobody
And he's
challenge
firing
me?
2 pistols around, but they're clearly like single-shot musket type things. But I think his toon powers, he can just use those.
Yeah, because he does.
Like it's a video game, because he just keeps firing.
Yeah, it's 4th-dimensional bullets he's using. So Bugs comes in and he's just like, yeah, all right, I'll play a game of cards with you. And he sits down at the table and he's got real droopy eyes.
Yeah,
he's just really quite high at this point. But that doesn't really seem to play too much to the Colonel's advantage, because Bugs starts with half a chip.
Yeah,
he throws in $100 note and he gets half a chip, and the Colonel's got loads by the seams of it. And the scene switches. Bugs ends up with all the cash, and basically Colonel Shuffle does not like this.
And he goes, it's duel time, right?
So he just says, like pistols at dawn, essentially.
But they just do it straight away.
Yeah, and like Bugs does his classic thing of like, it's back to back. It's like, right, on a count of 10, take your 10 steps, turn around. Bugs just walks backwards, staying perfectly next to the Colonel. The Colonel turns around, tries to shoot. Bugs kisses him right in the face, and that's it. The Colonel's after him for good now.
No, he gives him a cigar and blows him up.
Oh, yeah, he does. He does blow him up, but then gives him a banjo.
Exploding cigar.
Gives him a banjo,
and ladies.
They do a nice little song, and during the dance for that, Bugs basically makes the Colonel dance through a gate in the railing and into the Mississippi.
Now, in the single greatest, getting back onto the boat I've ever seen. The big sort of steam wheel at the back of the ship's just going, and the Colonel, like just perfectly rigid, stood upright, just rises on it like it's a Ferris wheel, just up to the top, and just walks straight back on. And it's great.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, that's how you get back onto the ship. So there's a big run around, and the Colonel's obviously not happy with Bugs at this point. So he's chasing him around the ship, and Bugs dives into a room, immediately followed by the Colonel. To which Bugs has remarkably managed to dress up as a lady in
but we know he can
like
do
a
that
second.
real quick.
Like
there must have been a plant pot in there or something.
Yeah, but it happens so quickly. So he pretends to be a lady, this soft Southern belle. The Colonel is very apologetic whilst Bugs is beating him with an umbrella, until his wig slips off, falls onto the Colonel, and the Colonel realises it's Bugs again. So Bugs grabs the wig, runs off to this Southern gentleman, and it's like, oh, this horrible man's after me, please stop him. And then this guy, to defend Bugs' honour, thinking it's a lady, goes up and beats up the Colonel. And that's the last we see of the Colonel. He gets thrown into the Mississippi, and then, this Southern gentleman finds out that Bugs is a rabbit, and he gibberishly walks into the Mississippi himself.
He just offs himself.
Yeah, I mean,
he just chucks himself off the boat.
The colour of that water, I'm guessing you're probably not going to be able to last it long, but I'm hoping we see Colonel Shuffle again, because he's great.
He's pretty great. What do we think Bugs' interest is here?
I don't know. I think it was just an accident. I think it's just one of those things. He's just turned up there and he's having fun. He's he ends up in. I
guess because he's there by accident, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we assume by accident, but we never know the workings of Bugs. But
it would be pretty presumptuous if he was trying to get there to just go to a cotton field and bend over and stick your tail out of
a bush
and then just wait until you're taken where you need to be.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you know the future, Like, rather than
this
forcing
did
things
feel
to
like
happen.
a Bugs that was aware of his.
Well, it did, because especially how
situation.
quickly he won the card game.
Yeah, how quickly he won the card game. Like, I don't know, his
Just his general demeanour.
yeah, his decision to, while doing whatever he's doing, just get absolutely
He's out.
here's anything.
So yeah, I'm thinking of later Bugs.
Later Bugs, but it's something that's just happened to him.
Maybe it was like a 60s, 70s Bugs who's come back.
Yeah, I think that's likely.
Yeah.
It's a reasonably modern Bugs. Because also, like, yeah, as we say, like he's very quick to change outfits and things. He's very, very quick to spot the situation he needs to put himself in, where it's like the ticket's collecting. I need to sort this out straight away. But yeah, like I don't apart from the introduction of Colonel Shuffle, like I think we'll get a lot of it from the future episodes.
Yes,
because there's got this has got to be a new enemy. Right?
Yeah, well, that's it, because we have no context for Colonel Shuffle. This is the first time we've seen him, but we know that it's not going to be the last time we see him. And he does have a very sort of Yosemite Sam sort of feel about him.
He's going to shift into that sort of sphere and
just be one of those antagonists.
Yeah, so it'd be good to see him again. The one thing we haven't covered is one time when Bugs chucks him off a boat.
Yeah.
Bugs has set up a show.
Yeah.
And it's a show of Uncle Tom's Cabin. And what he's done is he's just put a curtain up and like a sign.
Yeah.
And it just sends Colonel Shuffle straight off the boat again.
Yeah.
The interesting thing there, though, is that Uncle Tom's Cabin is one of the censored 11.
I think it was the first one
cartoons.
we skipped.
It might have been the first episode we skipped. So, but when we started doing this, we decided we weren't watching the censored 11 because there was already enough like pretty horribly racist stuff in the cartoons we were watching. If they deigned to censor 11 of them,
how bad were they?
Yeah. The question is, and either answer is fine. Do we feel like, because the agency presumably try to brush those under the rug?
Yeah, but
they've left some evidence of their existence in this archive footage. The question is, do we investigate Uncle Tom's Cabin?
I mean, I'm not really sure I want to, but I kind of feel, just so we've got an understanding of it, that we should. But I think if we do, and it is just terrible, we
won't go too far into it. We'll just go. We watched it.
Don't watch it yourself.
Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Shall we give it a go then?
All right. Let's watch it.
Okay. Right. Here goes.
Yeah.
We're watching Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is from ages and ages ago.
Yeah,
like, it's really early one.
30,
it's not going to be good. It's one of the censored 11. Don't join us until we've passed it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
See you in a bit. It's okay.
Yeah,
we don't have to watch it.
We don't have to watch
Uncle
it.
Tom's Bungalow is one of the censored 11.
Uncle Tom's Cabin is a book from like 1850, which is an anti-slavery novel.
Right. So we're fine.
Yeah.
Maybe we should read that book.
Yeah, possibly.
like it's the kind of thing. It's like, nah, I feel like I should have known that.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No. Well, no, that. But I think it's just one of those things that, like, I remembered Uncle Tom's something was like one of the censored 11 that we skipped, and then seeing it in that, I was like, oh, like Uncle Tom Cabinet, that was it. But I'm guessing Uncle Tom's Bungalow is something that is, an adaptation of Uncle Tom's Cabin. But why would it be in the censored 11?
Well, the thing is, you're still going to be depicting slavery a lot if you're doing that. Even if it is very much in the anti-slavery vein, you're still going to be depicting some stuff they probably just don't want associated with
possibly
with Looney Tunes in the public eye. But we don't have to watch it.
No.
You don't have to watch it. We're still getting away with it, not watching the censored 11.
And it was nice to see that Bugs was trying to put on a show. He
wasn't putting on a show.
But he was selling tickets so he was raising money for it.
Yeah, he did profit off it. So that's about it for this week then. So please, if you enjoy the show, leave us a review, especially if you listen on iTunes. It really, really helps our visibility. Otherwise, just tell people about it, because if you like it, there's a high chance other people will too.
Yeah, word of mouth makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's the only way you get these things around, because we don't advertise the podcast anywhere. Nope. We don't want to shove it in people's faces. We just want people who like it
want
to find
to
it.
shove it into people's faces.
Other than that, we're on the verge of launching the Kaiju FM store. Where you can buy some cool Space Jam Continuum and buy the mash ton and just general Kaiju Industries merchandise. Our promo this week is for Lore Masters. You'll hear that after the good theme tune to the Space Jam Continuum. But other than that, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we will.
Bye.
Bye.
It is a dark and stormy night, the wind lashing down, and you're facing against your greatest challenge yet. A player who's gone in the wrong direction. We've all been there, you've got our story planned out, and this player heads off in the wrong direction, and you've got nothing to fill that gap. Well, my name's Rob, and I've started a podcast to help you. The podcast is called Lore Masters, and each week I bring you something for your game. It could be a hook, it could be an object, it could be a person, it could be a city, it could be a whole story arc. If you're a dungeon master and you want some inspiration, please check us out wherever you find podcasts. And remember, you're not alone.